Okay, we're going to do a C day. The first thing we're going to do is the dictionary practice. So remember, the dictionary is split into quartiles. And the way that we remember the beginning of each quartile is aliens eat marshmallow sandwiches. Say it.
Aliens eat marshmallow sandwiches.
Nice job. All right, so this is just a little quartile practice sheet. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut these out. And if the word, well, hold on. These are guide words. Do you remember what guide words are?
Yes.
What are they?
The words at the top of the page that show the beginning of the page and the end.
Very nice. Okay, so if this word is going to come before fatal, then you put it in this column.
Okay.
Got it? If it goes on the page, then you put it in this column. And it comes after fearful, it goes over here. Got it?
Okay.
Okay. If you have any questions about any of the words, let me know. And then I'll have you say each word as you do that. That's okay.
Yeah.
Be careful because the scissors are huge. I said those scissors are huge.
No, they're not. Mom, are you fearing for my life?
Yeah,
With these scissors?
fearing for your life.
I hope you don't mind that my cutting is terrible.
No, it's alright. Done with the scissors? Thank you.
Yes, indeed I am.
Yes, indeed. What's the word?
Fault.
Fault. What's the word?
Federal.
Good. Nice job.
Fashion.
Very nice.
Fate. Fatten. Fantastic. Favor. Farewell. Feast. Feud. Fawn.
Nice job. Okay, so tell me all the words that are going to come before the page that starts with fatal.
Fashion, fantastic, farewell.
Very good. And all the ones that are going to go on this page?
Fault, fate, fatten, favor, fawn, fear.
Very good. And the ones that are after it?
Federal, feast, feud.
Very nice. Tell me again, what are guide words?
The words at the top of the page that explain the beginning of the page and the end of the page.
Perfect. Love it. Nice job. Very, very good. Okay, we're going to go over the words that we know that we've already learned in the grammar, okay? What's singular mean?
One.
One. Very good. What's a pronoun?
A little word that takes the place of a noun.
Very good. A noun?
A person, place, thing, or idea.
Very good. Plural?
More than one.
Good. Two kinds of nouns.
Common and proper.
Very good. A proper noun?
An individual, place, person, or thing, and it is capitalized.
Very good. Helping verbs?
Helps the main verb.
Very good. Oops, 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 oops. Who's got them all mixed up? All right. What's a determiner article?
A, an, and the.
Is that the only ones?
Yes.
Yeah, there's only three. All right. A common noun.
Any regular noun.
Any old ordinary noun. Very good. Any old ordinary noun. Tense.
Shows the time of an action.
Good. Time of a verb. Present tense.
An action that is in the present.
Good. Past tense.
An action that is in the past.
Good. And what's a verb? Verbs
Are action words.
show action to help make the statement. Very nice. Okay. So what I'm going to have you do is we're going to go through these pages that go in your notebook. And I'm going to have you just pick 4 that we've already done and draw a simple picture that will help you remember what they mean. Okay? Simple picture. So have we done a noun before?
Yes.
So you can do a noun if you want to. A singular noun singular means just one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you could draw a picture for just one. You could draw a picture for plural,
Okay.
common, and proper. That would be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want to do that?
Sure.
Right on. What did you draw for noun?
I drew an idea bubble
Uh-huh.
with a person, a house, and an animal.
Very good. I like it. What did you do for singular and plural?
For singular, I drew a die that had only one dot, and for plural, I drew all the dice that have more than one dot.
Perfect. Common and proper. What'd you do for common and proper?
For common, I just drew a person, and for proper, I drew a person that has their name out to the side.
Okay, so that is particularly Sarah, right?
Yes.
It's a particular person. Okay, perfect. Love it. You did a great job. All right, so we did the dictionary and we did the grammar practice, and the next thing we're going to do, since today is week 2, we're going to go ahead and just read a couple of pages of the book that we're reading, and that is Stormbreaker. This is an Alex Rider book. It's pretty good. You want to start at the beginning?
Sure.
Okay. It's pretty sad, but that's okay. Well, you read a page, I'll read a page. How about that?
Okay.
Okay, go for it.
When the doorbell rings at 3 in the morning.
What's the chapter name?
Oh.
Okay.
Funeral Voices.
Okay.
When the doorbell rings at 3 in the morning, it's never good news. Alex Rider was woken by the first chime. His eyes flickered open, but for a moment he stayed completely still in his bed, laying on his back with his head resting on the pillow. He heard a bedroom door open and a creak of wood as someone went downstairs. The bell rang a second time, and he looked at the alarm clock glowing beside him. There was a rattle as someone slid the security chain off the front door. He rolled out of bed and walked over to the open window, his bare feet pressing down the carpet pile. The moonlight spilled onto his chest and shoulders. Alex was 14, already well built, with the body of an athlete. His hair, cut short apart from 2 thick strands hanging over his forehead, was fair. His eyes were brown and serious. For a moment he stood silently, half hidden in the shadow, looking out. There was a police car parked outside. From his second-floor window, Alex could see the black ID number on the roof and the caps of 2 men who were standing in front of the door. The porch light went on, and at the same time the door opened. Mrs. Rider?
No, I'm the housekeeper. What is it? What's happened? This is the home of Mr. Ian Rider? Yes. I wonder if we could come in? And Alex already knew. He knew from the way the police stood there, awkward and unhappy, but he also knew from the tone of their voices, funeral voices. That was how he would describe them later. The sort of voices people used when they come to tell you that someone close to you has died. He went to his door and opened it. He could hear the 2 policemen talking down the hall, but only one of the words reached him. A car accident. Only some of the words reached him. A car accident. Called the ambulance. Intensive care. Nothing anyone could do. So sorry. It was only hours later, sitting in the kitchen table, watching as the gray light of morning bled slowly through the West London streets, that Alex could try to make sense of what had happened. His uncle, Ian Rider, was dead. Driving home, his car had been hit by a truck at Old Street Roundabout, and he had been killed almost instantly. He hadn't been wearing a seatbelt, the police said. Otherwise, he might have had a chance. Alex thought of the man who had been his only relation for as long as he could remember. He had never known his parents. They both died in another accident, this one a plane crash a few weeks after he was born. He had been brought up by his father's brother, never uncle. Ian Rider had hated that word, and had spent 14 years in the same terraced house in Chelsea, London, between the King's Road and the river. The 2 of them had always been close. Alex remembered the vacation they'd taken together, the many sports they had played, the movies they had seen. They hadn't just been relations, they'd been friends. It was almost impossible to imagine that he would never again see the man, hear his laughter, or twist his arm to get help with the science homework.
Alex sighed, fighting against the sense of grief that was suddenly overwhelming. But what saddened him the most was the realization, too late now, that despite everything, he had hardly known his uncle at all. He was a banker. People said Alex looked a little like him. Ian Ryder was always traveling, a quiet, private man who liked good wine, classic music, and books, who didn't seem to have any girlfriends. In fact, he didn't have any friends at all. He had kept himself fit, had never smoked, and had dressed expensively. But that wasn't enough. It wasn't a picture of a life. It was only a thumbnail sketch. "Are you all right, Alex?" A young woman had come into the room. She was in her late 20s with a sprawl of red hair and a round, boyish face. Jack Starbright was American. She had come to London as a student 7 years ago, rented a room in the house in return for light housework and babysitting duties, and had stayed on to become housekeeper and one of Alex's closest companions.
Sometimes he wondered what the Jack was short for. Jackie, Jacqueline. Neither of them suited her, and although he had once asked, she had never said. Alex nodded. "What do you think will happen?" he asked. "What do you mean?" "To the house. To me. To you." "I don't know," she shrugged. "I guess Ian would have made a will. He'll have left instructions. Maybe we should look in his office." "Yeah, but not today, Alex. Let's take it one step at a time." Ian's office was a room running the full length of the house, high up on the top. It was the only room that was always locked. Alex had only been in there 3 or 4 times, and never on his own. When he was younger, he had fantasized that there might be something strange up there, a time machine or a UFO, but it was merely an office with a desk, a couple of filing cabinets, shelves full of papers and books. Bank stuff, that's what Ian said. Even so, Alex wanted to go up there now. "The police said he wasn't wearing his seatbelt." Alex turned to look at Jack. She nodded. "Yeah, that's what they said." "Doesn't that seem strange to you? You know how careful he was. He always wore his seatbelt. He wouldn't even drive me around the corner without making me put mine on."
Jack thought for a moment, then shrugged. "Yeah, it is strange," she said, "but that must have been the way it was. Why would the police have lied?" The day dragged on. Alex hadn't gone to school, even though secretly he wanted to. He would have preferred to escape back into normal life. The clang of the bell, the crowds of familiar faces, instead of sitting here, trapped inside the house. But he had to be there for the visitors who came throughout the morning and the rest of the afternoon. There were 5 of them. A lawyer who knew nothing about any will but seemed to have been charged with organizing the funeral. A funeral director who had been recommended by the lawyer. A vicar. A vicar, tall, elderly, who seemed disappointed that Alex refused to cry. A neighbor from across the road. How did she even know that anyone had died? And finally, a man from the bank. "All of us at the Royal and General are deeply shocked," he said. He looked about 30, wearing a polyester suit with a Marks and Spencer tie. He had the sort of face you forget even while you're looking at it, and had introduced himself as Crawley from personnel. "But if there's anything we can do, what will happen?" Alex asked for the second time that day. "You don't have to worry," Crawley said. "The bank will take care of everything. That's my job. You leave everything to me." The day passed. Alex killed a couple hours knocking a few balls around on his uncle's snooker table.
Snooker.
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 I don't know.
It's okay. Go ahead.
And then felt vaguely guilty when Jack caught him at it.
But what else was there to do? All right, we're going to stop there. Doesn't that sound like a good book?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What was the dictionary skill that we practiced today? Remember?
Quartiles.
Quartiles. We reviewed the quartiles and we did the guide words, right?
Mhm.
And what's the guide word?
The words at the top of the page that describe the beginning of the page and the end of the page.
Perfect. It's the first word and the last word on that page,
Yes.
right? Okay, first word and last word. Very good. And then you drew some pictures for your grammar to review. And then we read the first part of Alex Rider, the Alex Rider book, right? Right on. It's all good. Nice job, Abby. Love it.
Thank you.